About 83% of you guys are not subscribed.
What is going on, guys? Rogue TCG here, bringing their Yu-Gi-Oh! TCG deck profile. You guys voted for it, and I am responding. Here is Springans. This is a rank 4 focused deck that can make ranks higher than it by functionally cheating them out by using other monsters as material. However, this deck does have a very linear way to get to these rank 4s, which all basically kind of lead to the same route in a sense, where you're just getting a lot of advantage putting up interactions, searching cards, etc., etc. One of the main reasons you want to be playing this deck is going to be Tally Ho Springans, one of the fairly new cards coming out of Photon Hypernova of last year. You can activate this card, attach 3 materials from monsters you control, add 1 Springans, and then you get to Soul Charge from hand or grave. And then during the main phase, if it's in the graveyard, you can target one XYZ monster on the field, attach a material, and add this card to your hand. This card is nuts, and that's pretty much the whole reason to be playing the deck, although there are a couple other reasons that you might be seeing in the list, and I'll explain why once we get to it. So that's enough yapping, let's get to the profile. Starting off the list, we're on Triple Springans Kit. This card is very, very good, being able to search cards like Branded in High Spirit, special summoning itself out if you have a Sprint the Iron Dash Dragon in your graveyard, as well as being able to kind of sort of mulligan your hand out of cards that you don't want to be seeing at that moment by putting a card back to the bottom. So Springans Kit is probably one of the best ones because it adds any one of our branded spell traps. Here's the thing, there's only one, but it is still incredibly strong in this list, and I still would be playing 3 of it. We're on a Triple Springans Rocky on normal or special. You can target a Golganga in your graveyard or a Springans in your graveyard and add it to your hand. And if this card's in your graveyard, you can target 1 Springans XYZ you control and attach this card from the graveyard to that monster as material, and each effect is once per turn. And you can start to see some of the effects of the Springans right away, where they'll have graveyard effects to do something or other, and some of them will be banishing themselves, which is why you might be seeing a certain sus card in here. We are on Double Springans Brothers. There's only 2 of them, not 3 like the artwork says. If this card is sent from the hand or deck to the graveyard, target a Springans monster in your graveyard except for itself and special summon it in defense position. If this card's in your hand, field, or graveyard, target a Springans XYZ monster you control, attach it to this card to it as material, and then that's a once per turn. Brothers is really good, being able to get you into other Springans, and it's functionally an extender from deck, so we're playing 2 of it because we are able to find it and then send it. It's not like we have to coincidentally mill it. We're on 1 Springans Branga. If this card's in your hand, field, or grave, target a Springans XYZ you control and attach this card to it as material. You can banish this card and 1 Springans monster with a different name from your graveyard to add 1 Springans card from your deck to your hand. You can use each effect of Branga once per turn. This is our Searcher that also coincidentally searches from the graveyard and banishes 2 cards, not just 1. Which is fairly important for Desus. But Branga is really good. Again, we can send it to the graveyard, so we're only just playing the 1 because we don't want to be seeing it in our opening hand, because otherwise it doesn't really have a way to get itself onto the field, other than that first clause, which is, I guess, not part of the field. It's under an XYZ monster, so it's not considered on the field, so it doesn't really have any way to put itself on board. And then lastly, for our Springans main deck monsters, we're on 1 Captain Sarg Ass. If this card's in our hand, field, or grave, attach it to his material. During your opponent's turn, quick effect, you can attach 1 material from an XYZ monster control, target a face-up card on the field, and destroy. You can use each of the following effects of Sargass once per turn. A Springans XYZ monster that has this card's material gains 500 attack. This card is interesting. It can be interaction when it's on field, which is a really good reason to bring it out with Tally Ho Springans. However, again, it doesn't really have a reasonable way to bring itself onto the board, so we're only playing the 1 of, again, because we can send these cards to the graveyard if need be. We're on a rank 4 package of Triple R Tama and 1 Saki Tama in order to get our rank 4 plays started. And then here's a card that I don't think any Springans players are really playing, or none that I saw. We are on Double Inferno. This is a card that says can't be normal summoned or set, must first be special summoned from your hand by banishing 1 fire monster from your graveyard, and if it destroys a monster by battle, which is almost never going to happen, you get to do 1500 burn to your opponent. So, secret win condition, if you can manage to do it, I will give you exactly 1 clap However, this is an extender that can banish cards from your graveyard and only bring in order to bring a 4 on the field. As you see, almost all of our Springans are fire, except for Kit, because Kit's an evil little mischievous fellow. However, I believe Double Inferno might be interesting for the deck, so I'm trying it out in this build. You already saw it. We're on 1 Nemesis flag. You can target one of your banished monsters except for itself. Special summon this card from your hand. If you do, shuffle that target to deck. During your main phase, you can add 1 Nemesis monster from your deck to your hand except for flag. You can use each effective flag once per turn. Technically, we do not have to special summon it. However, special summoning it is probably the easiest way to do it. And since we're banishing stuff via Branga, via Inferno, we can get those banished cards back into deck, back into rotation, especially the Branga itself. And add to from our deck to our hand an Arch Nemesis Protos. Copy normal summoned or set must be special summoned by banishing 3 monsters with different attributes from your graveyard and or face of field. Cannot be destroyed by card effects. You can declare 1 monster attribute on the field, destroy all monsters on the field with that attribute until end of next turn. Neither player can special summon monsters with that attribute. I know we said we are primarily fire, however, we have cards that we really want to see, like Springans Kit, which is a dark. Aratama is also a dark, and Sakitama is a light. Also consider our Xyz monsters. Most of them are going to be fire, however, stuff like Xyz Armor Fortress, Dark Knight Lancer, Zeus, they're all going to be different attributes, water or light. So it's not actually super difficult to get 3 different attributes. However, it is not necessarily the easiest thing, so you kind of have to go into the Protos line knowing you want to be doing that. And then our last main deck monster that isn't a hand trap is 1 Therion King Regulus, because in this deck we can actually just straight up search it with a giant Sargass. But that's it for our main deck monsters. I already mentioned Brandon and High Spirits. We're on Triple Springans Watch. You can either add a Golgonda from deck to hand, or if we have Golgonda, we can add a Springans from deck to hand, and we get to send a Springans from deck to graveyard. So it's both a Rhoda and a Foolish if we have Golganga. Otherwise, it's just a Terraforming. I already went over Tally-Ho Springans. It's a quick play, which I didn't mention previously, which makes it even better. We're on Triple Springans Booty, continuous spell that functionally just puts Golganga on the field spell. However, if a face-up Xyz monster you control leaves the field by a card effect, you can target 1 effect monster opponent controls, and neither player can activate that effect monster's effect on the field this turn. Not necessarily the greatest effect on this. However, it is not the worst, but we are just playing 3 of it because it's functionally 3 more copies of our field spell, which we're playing 3 of as well. Great Sand Sea Gold Golganga. All Springans Xyz monsters on the field gain 1,000 attack. You lose each effect of following effect of Golganga once per turn. Once per turn, if you control no Springans Xyz monsters, pitch a Springans, special summon a Springans Xyz from your extra deck. If a face-up Xyz monster you control leaves the field by a card effect, you can target 1 monster your opponent controls. It cannot attack for the rest of the turn, even if this card leaves the field. This card is very good. Being able to basically cheat out a Springans Xyz monster means we don't have to put 2 monsters on field to make a rank 4. We actually don't even need to put 1. We can just cheat that Fang out, which is really nice to just slap a Sargass on top of it. So we do want to max out on Golganga, also because of the Watch effect as well. That's it for our Springans card, our honorary Springans card, 1 full armor Xyz for our Xyz armor package. We're on triple Infinite Impermanence, triple Ash Blossom for hand traps, and 1 Called by the Grave, rounding out a 40 card main deck. In our extra deck, we are playing 1 Sprin the Iron Dash Dragon, any machine, these are all machines. You can add a Springans Kit because it mentions Fallen of Albaz. So we can go Kit, add Brandon High Spirits, send Sprind, send something like Brothers, and then we can add from deck to hand another Kit for next turn, and then this Kit is going to be able to special summon itself. We are on 1 Hita the Fire Charmer Ablaze. We're a fire deck, and we can steal opponents' fires to go into Promethean Princess and then Ambler Whale. So we can and probably will be doing that, same as Snake Eye is. This is how we get access to our Protos in almost any hand. We have 1 Infernal Flame Banshee. It needs 2 4s. You can attach material from this card, take a Pyro from your deck, and either add it to your hand or send it to the graveyard. If this card is banished, you can control Pyro. We can special summon this card, and if we do, it gains attack equal to the number of currently banished monsters times 100 until end of turn. You can use each effect of Banshee once per turn. All this does, as the only target it can, Nemesis Flag, and then Flag, it gets Protos, and then Protos shits itself on board. We are on 1 Zeus Sky Hunter because we are on Xyz deck. Xyz deck means we play Zeus. We're on Dark Knight Lancer and Xyz Armor Fortress for our Xyz Armor package. We're on 1 Dweller and 1 Baguska for our generic 4s that can kind of solo most decks, or well, not most decks, specific types of decks. Baguska is here for stuff sort of like Flu, or we need to play kind of a slower game, where we really need to stun out our opponent like on the spot. Or Dweller is if we're going first against a graveyard deck, or if we're going second against a graveyard deck, we want to slap this on field ASAP. Run double Springans Merrymaker, needs 2 4s. If this card is special summon from your extra deck, you can send 1 Springans monster from your deck to the graveyard. Great way to trigger Brothers, or send Branga, or send Sargass. During your opponent's main or battle phase, quick effect, you can banish this card from your banish this card until the end phase. Then if this card was banished with 2 or more Xyz materials, you can send 1 fusion monster from your extra deck to the graveyard that lists Fallen of Albaz as a material. You use each effect of Merrymaker once per turn. This is a way to send our Sprint if we don't open Kit or Branded High Spirits, so we can basically at end of turn grab our Kit, or we can grab something else. Since if we grab Kit, we won't be able to add anything off of it, unfortunately. And this is probably one of the best 4s that we want to be making almost all the time, because this is going to be able to rank up. I'm just going to skip over this one right over here and go into Sargass. Once per turn, you can also Xyz summon this card by using 1 Springans Xyz monster you control, transfer its materials to this card. While this card has materials, you can add 1 Springans or 1 Therion card from your deck to your hand. If a material is detached from a monster on the field, except during the damage step, you can target 1 card on the field, either destroy it or return it to hand. You can use each effect of Sargass once per turn. We really want to be ending on this guy. We always want to be making this guy because he's going to add Therion King Regulus from deck to hand, which is another negate because you can target any machine in your grave, which is any of the Springans. And this guy is just a house. Like, we're playing 2 of it because it also searches our Springans cards too. Sure, it is just all of them because it's any Springans card or Therion card. So Sargass is definitely really, really powerful in this deck. And our last card that I skipped over is Springans Ship X-Blower. Needs 2+8s. We're never going to be doing that. You can choose one of your opponent's monster zones or spell and trap zones. Detach as many number of materials from this card. If you do, destroy the same number of cards your opponent controls in the chosen zones and its adjacent monster and or spell and trap zones. During your opponent's main or battle phase, quick effect, you can banish this card until the end phase. You can only use each effect of X-Blower once per turn. This is just a cute way to get rid of cards that your opponent doesn't really play around this card. Like, let's say they set 3 back row all next to each other. You pop the middle one, all of them go. So this is just a way to play around opponents who don't really know what they're doing against this deck. But that's about it for the profile. You notice on our side we do also have Corridor and Colossus. I'm showing you can make Corridor and Colossus the same way. We still have to include the flag, but if we take out the Protos and put in the Corridor, our flag can then search the Corridor. Remember how Branga banished 2? Well, we can return that second banished one for Corridor in order to summon Colossus instead of Protos. So there are options when choosing Degeneracy for this deck, because there are fire cards and rank 4s involved, so we always have access to either Protos or Colossus. But thank you all so much for watching the video, if you still are, and I'll be seeing you all next time. Bye-bye!
Thank you guys so much for watching the video. If you wanted to talk to more Yu-Gi-Oh players like yourself, I would highly recommend checking out our Discord server. Link is going to be in the description, as well as the QR code on screen. We do talk somewhat frequently about Yu-Gi-Oh and the current meta, so I would really enjoy to see you there. As well as we do recently now have channel memberships available on our YouTube channel, where we have 3 different tiers. We have Super Supporter at $2 a month, where you get loyalty badges, emojis, guaranteed comment responses, a shout out at the end of every video, as well as access to the members only Discord channel, where you get early sneak peeks at future videos. There is the Giga Supporter at $5 a month, where you have early access to all new videos about a day or 2 before they go up, as well as all the previous offers. And for $15 a month, we do have our final tier, which is going to be Femboy Fanatic. You get a guaranteed customized video every single month, as well as 1 hour of my time. Could be for anything you'd like. You want a duel? Absolutely. You want me to help build a deck? Absolutely. You want to play some Helldivers? Sure. I'll do anything for an hour once a month. But supporting does help me out quite a lot, and it does help me produce all of these videos. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll be seeing y'all later. Bye-bye.